Good morning. Welcome to Diversity and Women's Leadership Panel Discussion. I am Corinne Bowman, your Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chair from the Raleigh Regional Association. I'm so elated to be here with you guys. I actually had the pleasure of creating this event along with one of our committee members, also the chair of the Women's Council, Ms. Amber Johnson. And today we have the opportunity to highlight some very special, inspiring, and empowering women of our industry. We also have a host that has so much to offer and so much to give. But this event is going to be really special. We have some great treats ahead today. We talk about diversity and women leadership and what that looks like and the importance that it upholds. See, it's very important that we understand that we celebrate each other, we celebrate our wins and our successes. And not only that, we share our stories to help inspire and empower others. If we look at our nation today, over 40% of businesses are started by women. We are women, we are strong, we are bold, we are courageous, and we have a lot to bring to the table. And today, we have something to bring to you. You're gonna get an opportunity to get inside what it has looked like for women leadership in our real estate industry right here in our local market. I cannot wait to share with you what we have special for you. Ms. Amber Johnson, are you here with me today?
Good morning, Corinne. How are you?
I'm good.
I am so excited about this event, and Corinne is absolutely right. You guys are in for a treat. We are so excited for the panel that we have put together. And the moderator is somebody that I am so unbelievably excited to introduce. Octavius started his real estate career in 2006 in Atlanta, Georgia, but life had other plans in 2009, as most of us remember. After a couple of years in North Carolina as a stay-at-home dad to his adorable son, he decided to give the career he loved so much another chance. Shortly after getting his license, I met him, and it has been my distinct pleasure to watch his authentic rise to an amazing and successful career. In addition to being a team leader, he's also the DEI director for the LGBTQ+ Real Estate Alliance and sits on the board of the United Way of Chatham County. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce my friend, O. He's our moderator for this event, Octavius Smiley Humphreys.
Thank you so much, Amber. I appreciate the warm introduction and the opportunity to host such a dynamic and important discussion with 5 amazingly beautiful inside and out women. You know, as these things go, I really want this to be an engaging conversation, not just for the panelists, for the people who are attending. Before we get started, I want to thank Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors, the Women's Council, and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for inviting me here and for putting this special event on today. With that being said, I will take a brief moment to introduce each panelist, but I don't want to spend too much time talking myself because, again, this is about these dynamic women and their experiences as they ascend to leadership in their respective fields. First, we have Tammie Harris, who has been licensed since 2007. She is the author of 2 best-selling books on Amazon, A Reason to Be, and she's a mentor and a coach. And please apologize if I mispronounce your name. We also have Fara Pourshariati, who is originally from Iran, first generation, She lived in New York when moving to the United States, but calls Cary, North Carolina home. She is a wonderful collaboration and partnership with other great agents in different states and globally. And we're so happy to have you here as well. We also have Monique Edwards, who is also licensed here in North Carolina. She owns North Carolina Living Realty and provides residential and commercial services for those who desire to live in Wake and Durham County. Also on the panel is LaToya Simms, who is originally from Boston, but relocated to North Carolina in 2000, where she worked with the North Carolina Real Estate Commission for over 20 years. She was awarded the Old North State Award by Governor Roy Cooper and the NC Real Estate Commission Service Award for her dedicated years of service for the state of North Carolina. And last but certainly not least, someone who we probably all know, we have Leslie Williams. Leslie Williams is a Brooklyn, New York native and now resides in North Carolina for over 20 years. Before real estate, she was in the marketing industry for over 30 years. She is the owner and manager broker of Leslie Williams Realty. In addition to her MBA, she is the 2021 president-elect of Raleigh Association of Realtors, on the board of directors for the NC Association of Realtors, as well as the National Association of Realtor Committees. And I'll just take a brief opportunity to say congratulations, Leslie. Having you as the president-elect warms my heart personally and professionally, and I am elated that you so deservingly, while it shouldn't have taken this long for you to be the first Black woman president, I'm so glad that you are. So welcome to all of our panelists. Thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules to share with us today. So the first question I have is a simple, what is your inspiration? What was your inspiration in ascending into your respective careers? I'll kick it off to Leslie.
Thank you very much, Octavius, for the question. But first, I want to thank the Women's Council of Realtors, as well as the Raleigh Association of Realtors DEI committee, and all the women panelists who are here today. So I want to just sort of say, hey, it's really great company to be with you all today. So my inspiration for leadership or getting into the real estate industry was when I purchased my home back in 1990 or so. The husband and wife realtors that helped my husband and I found our home inspired to be able to do the same for others, because we were treated so well. She took her time with us. You know, we were those typical first-time home buyers, and we took her from one county to the next. And so at the end of the day, the opportunity to be able to transform other people's lives is what inspired me to do.
Thank you. That's awesome. Pharaoh, I'd like to ask you the same question, because you have a slightly different journey to getting here today.
Yes, it's been lots of ups and downs, and it's been interesting. And thank you very much for having me here. I'm so excited to be with these wonderful ladies here. We have a powerhouse here for sure. That's amazing. I'm so glad I can be part of it. And my journey has been so, as I said, ups and downs, and I try always looking positive and get involved. I'm a very a people person. At the beginning, I wasn't like this. I was a shy girl with a different cultural background that I grew up, but I had to overcome and do lots of things, and that it was opposite of my willingness, my family's approval, but I had to just keep focused and be determined and move forward. And getting to real estate was always my passion. I always like to get involved with the hunting houses and the designing and investing. So, and the most important thing was for me to meet new people. So that's how I get involved with the real estate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Farah. And, you know, being from a different country, I imagine the nervousness of putting yourself out there, with cultural challenges and maybe language barriers can be quite an obstacle to overcome. And many people shy away from leadership in that respect, but you took it head on.
Thank you. It's been difficult, as you mentioned. The language was it one of the main thing. Also, I speak Farsi, so it's totally different alphabet. The cultural barrier was very preventing me from doing things. Being a Middle Eastern woman, and have to overcome lots of things. But I did it. It's like one of those things. You tell me no, I have to do it. So that keeps me going.
Well, awesome. Well, being that this whole discussion is around leadership, I'd like to kick it off to Tammie and tell us what leadership means to you.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you again for this invite. I am super excited to be a part of this great dynamic opportunity with all these beautiful people. So what does leadership mean to me? Leadership means actually humbling yourself enough for other people to trust you. Leadership is a huge responsibility, Octavius. I mean, truthfully it is. Some days you would just rather lead yourself. But leadership, in my opinion, is a God-designed opportunity to mentor, to encourage, to motivate, to offer hurdle help, and to be a shining example. And even when we don't get it right, to show people it's okay. Life is a process, it's a journey, but keep pushing. So leadership is everything. And I think most of the people on the panel can tell you, I think we were just chosen to lead. Sometimes we weren't trying to decide we were going to lead, but you kind of get pushed in the front to make things happen. So that's what leadership means to me.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right, because I did not want to lead a team. At least I thought I did not. So I absolutely understand the being pushed to do so. LaToya, same question, because leadership can mean different things to different people.
Yeah, and thank you guys for the invitation. I'm excited to be here. I think for leadership, and I love what Tammie said, is about humility, but also as a leader, you're not designating yourself. You don't appoint yourself as a leader. Oftentimes if you show any type of motivation or passion, people kind of put that responsibility on you. And I think since I was a child, I just was very passionate about motivation and about change. So I think when it came to leadership, I had to understand it's not just about confidence. It's about having a vision and then making sure that people are a part of that vision and understanding that they're the key. So you have to make people comfortable in that environment. It's not all about you. It's about learning the vision, motivating the people, getting them to the goal. So I like the saying, I know a lot of people say there's no I in team, but I like to say there's no me in company. So whenever you really are leading people, you give them a platform. You're just there to really delegate, organize. It's the people really that are part of the team that really gets everything together and understanding what everybody's key talents and stuff are. But I think a leader motivates and really, keeps the vision there, but also drives the people to get it done,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm already feeling like I'm getting tidbits to take back to my team, and like I'm becoming a better leader just listening to you all share. Monique, so we all know that the journey to success and whatever that means to us comes with some ups and downs, some roadblocks and challenges. If you'd like to share with us some of the challenges you faced and how you overcame them. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. So my journey was from started out in government, right? So I used to work at a lobbying firm, and one of my biggest challenges, I think, was recognizing that I had what it took to go out on my own and step away from lobbying and go into real estate and start my own business. And my biggest challenge, I have to be honest, was myself. right? So I had been groomed to go down a particular path. So I just couldn't see myself kind of operating in a different way. And then one day, someone gave me some really, really wise questions, right? To force me to look into myself so that I would know that I could do it. And the thing the person asked me was, what are you waiting on? And I didn't have an answer, right? And then they said, who are you waiting for? So I had to say to myself, all of those things were meant for me to understand that what I was waiting on was myself to take the action, and who I was waiting on was still right back to me. So I think, some of my biggest hurdles have always been the things that I thought I couldn't do, but I actually, once you do them, you can do them, right? And then the other thing is just kind of looking at, other people and recognizing that if it's already been done, you can definitely do it. But it is entirely possible for you to be the first in something. And so keeping positive motivation has been, one of the biggest challenges, because, we're surrounded by a world of negativity. So just keeping positive and knowing that you can hit all the goals that you want. And there isn't anything, and that's what I've learned through my journey. There isn't anything I can't do. The only time I can't do something is when I tell myself I can't do it.
That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Leslie, I'd like to ask you the same question, because I've interacted with you a few times, and you seem like you've never had a challenge in front of you. You're always so positive and just full of amazing light and energy. But I know the road for you and no one on the panel has been easy and without challenges. So what are some of the challenges you face, and how did you overcome them?
Well, very similar to what we've heard here, but I think that we have the opportunity, right, to choose how we want to deal with obstacles. And so I've never been a person to allow an obstacle to shift me enough that it changes my ability to continue to move forward. Now, I might get knocked down or I might get sidetracked for a moment, but I believe that God has given me the ability to self-correct and to pivot whenever I am challenged with something, because there is usually an unrest that I feel within myself to know that something about that journey I need to address and or correct and to realign myself to continue to move on. So that optimism that I have is one that I have just been given that kind of a heart. That's the only way that I can kind of explain that, because yes, there is, people may come to you and try to discourage you, or maybe you go in an environment and right off the cuff, you're not embraced, but then you have to make that decision of whether or not that's something that you are really invested in that situation enough that you're going there to make a change. And it's not necessarily about me per se, but I'm going in because there is a message that I want to deliver. There's something that I want to share with the people. I want to be able to get something from them and also to give something. And so that inspires me, irregardless of whatever the obstacle is. And I tell this to my children all the time: if that door is closed, you figure out a way to get it open, right? And you go in there and you show that you have the ability to be there, to interact, to learn, and to just do your best. So yes, you're always going to see me excited about my life, optimistic about what I bring to the table. I love to encourage other people. I've just never had a spirit of seeing other people achieving or doing things and then not being happy for them. And I can do that because I'm happy.
That is amazing. I think oftentimes in my first stint in real estate wasn't a great one, but the idea was that we were all competitors, right? We were all against each other, and it was getting sales and being better than. And I love that we're shifting to celebrating each other's successes and wins, and helping each other along the way. We can all be real estate professionals and be successful, but also take care of each other and inspire each other. So I love that message. So thank you so much. With the spirit of diversity, I'd really like to ask, and I don't want to single anyone out, so please jump in if you like, but why is diversity, especially in our industry, so important? I'll calling out.
I'll take that. I'll take it. I'll take that one. Because I think that, that everyone is different, right? Every client, has a unique need, right? And every client, and my philosophy is that, yes, we are in the same business, and you talked about that competitive scenario, right? But the client that works with you, or Tammie, or Fara, or Monique, they are aligning themselves with them because they have a characteristic or trait that they feel comfortable with, right? And so we all uniquely have that individuality that client's going to work with Tammie because they feel more aligned with her versus working with me. So there is no need, if someone's telling me, hey, I'm already in a relationship with Tammie, but I'm then going to now speak negatively about her because I want that sale. Like, that is just not the way that I operate my business. I don't have to be, I'm happy with where I am in terms of what my success is. So in my mind, right, diversity also in terms of we each have our own individual paths in terms of education, experience, our individual business models are going to be different. So in that regard, that diversity piece is there. But some of us may focus on, whether that's first-time home buyers, or we all do luxury market, whatever that in between is. So that's a piece of diversity as well. But then also in terms of being able to have people from different backgrounds that are able to, to have the ability to participate in real estate, because it's hard work. Even though we know that you can make a lot of money doing this, it's still a lot of work. You have to continue to stay on top of the latest, rules and regulations, right? Because we know if we don't do that, we're going to get in trouble. Secondly, we need to understand these contracts and how to protect our buyers. And so all of different cultures, different races of people, so that we could have something for everyone, right? But I also think the most important thing is that we are identifying talent as opposed to, okay, well, let me go and find a group of people that look like this or that, because then we are not fulfilling the obligation of identifying talent, because we identify talent by just that, not what people look like.
Absolutely. Anyone else have any thoughts around why diversity is so important and the benefits of it really to our industry? LaToya?
Thanks, Octavius. Just to piggyback off of what Leslie said, I come from 20 years working at the Real Estate Commission. And in those 20 years, I saw a whole lot. I worked in legal, I worked in education, I worked in licensing. I saw a whole lot, but what I did not see was a lot of people of color in positions. Like, where you hear people are always the first. It's like, it's 2021 now. How are we the first? My thing is to make sure they're not the last. So, the first and the last. And I think it's extremely important because, even working at the commission, we would have people coming in from different backgrounds that had English as a second language. And no one really knew how to speak to them. I have background in Spanish, but, sometimes it sounds like bingo, as far as how I'm communicating with them. But I feel like every single client has a different need. And their needs are all valid. It doesn't matter what price point they're coming from. It doesn't matter what background they're coming from. Everybody deserves to have a piece of the pie. And when you can bring empathy, you listen to people, you understand what their experiences have been. A lot of my clients have, like Farah stated, been through some stuff, and we all don't look like what we've been through, you know. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I pretty much think, you know, when you have dealt with so much, you can empathize more with other people. And when you see people coming to the table, they are in fear. A lot of times they have the buying power, but they don't have the knowledge and the education. And if you are bringing that to the table for them and being their advocate, that's a strong thing to do. And if it's, you know, and it just so helps that I am a Black woman to do it. I don't come to the table as a Black realtor. I come to the table as a qualified realtor to work with my clients. However, me being Black has definitely helped me because of the things that I've been through. I've been disenfranchised with opportunities. I've been the first at the table. I've been one trying to sit at the table and had to build my own table. You know, so I understand when clients come to me and they tell me they're experiencing certain things, I'm not dismissing them automatically. I'm not devaluing their experiences. Sometimes I offer a different perspective, because when we're talking about money and we're talking about offers in this market, it ain't because, you know, a lot of times it ain't because of the colors, because you didn't give your highest and best. You got to come with better terms, better conditions and things like that. But the home buying process is very intimidating. Real estate is extremely intimidating because when you are a person of color, you don't see a lot of us in power positions. So when you do have opportunities, or you have that American dream to buy your own home, luckily for us, you know, things are bigger. You know, we're coming into a generation of people who really don't, they're all about making that dollar, making money and making opportunities, and they're investing. I mean, we have millennials right now, whether they're Black, white, or whatever, they're coming in with cash offers at 22 years old, 23. They don't have the hesitation that some of us have had in our past. However, in doing so, I think when you can work with people, understand their need, understand that you knowing how to work with diverse clientele, not just people who make you comfortable, how you make other people comfortable. That's really the tool for success to me. And that diversity has a huge role in that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'll just add this, you know, and it's not just our clients, but it's our teammates, the people that we surround ourselves with, and having that diverse perspective. I've been able to in my business service so many different clients, not just because they look like me or have the same background, but it was because I was able to pull from an experience with, you know, a white counterpart or a Hispanic counterpart, or, you know, just making sure that the people that are around me are helping me grow and be better to be able to service our entire community. Because when someone, at least to me, and I'm sure everyone agrees, when you want to buy a house, you don't have a color to me. You want to buy a house, and you deserve to be educated and represented in a way that is compassionate, it's ethical, and it's a successful transaction. So thank you both so much for that, just really in depth, because diversity is my passion. So to hear you speak so eloquently about it really makes me smile. So thank you so much. So I would like to kick it off to Tammie and ask who or what inspires you on a day-to-day basis? We know some days we wake up and we don't want to do anything, but what continues to push you to drive and elevate who you are professionally and personally?
Well, I'll tell you, I grew up as the daughter of sharecroppers in Eastern North Carolina. I remember as a little girl working hard to get school clothes by picking cucumbers. You know, when I tell my people and friends from up north these stories, they're like, you never picked cucumber, you never was in a tobacco field. Well, my mom and my dad really have given me a foundation to understand that no one owes you anything, right? So if anyone, I'll tell you, do anything for you, if anyone offer you an opportunity, it is just that, it's an opportunity. So I have this beautiful granddaughter named Gabby, right? So when I think about wealth, when I think about heritage, when I think about legacy, when I think about destiny, purpose, and the future, I think about my children's children. Now I have these three wonderful children and a daughter in love that I love them to life, But I just mentioned to my son this morning, oh, it's not about you, it's about your daughter, it's about Gabby. So that inspires me to keep pushing, to keep being motivational, to keep encouraging people to be their best selves in real estate, to get it done. And in spite of life, understanding that it's all a journey, it's all a process. And if we don't quit, we will all win. So that's my story, and I think I'm going to stick with it. My inspiration truly is thinking about legacy, heritage, destiny, purpose. My grandchildren, you know, I'm a believer. So the word says to leave an inheritance for your children's children. Not even about my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about where I live, what I drive, where I eat. It's about the future. When I'm long gone, my inspiration is that my children and children's children will be in the earth pushing and doing what they need to do in life. So that pushed me now to be my best self for them.
That is awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that, because that is exactly why I went back on my word of never getting in real estate again after I felt like it ruined my life in 2009. I then had this 9-month-old son that I wanted him to see that you can fall and get back up and ascend to higher than where you were before. So thank you so much for that. Fara, I'd like to ask you the same question.
Life is very challenging, as we know, and I try to look at it every day as my last day. Maybe it sounds bizarre, but I try to see it that way. Stuff has been happening, especially last year. Every moment, every day, everybody around us, they're so precious. You might see them 1 second and another second we hear something bad news. It just lots of surprises, and not all the surprises can be good, can be bad also. So I try to look at it and see, okay, what can I do today? As Tammie mentioned, to leave a legacy. What can I do today? It can be helpful, not only for me, I can be helping other people. Maybe it can be a sentence, maybe it can be a comment, maybe it can make a phone call to refer somebody to somebody, maybe just calling and texting somebody and send them an emoji. And when I see it, sometimes, you know, we don't have always nice and wonderful sunshine day. When I see sometimes I'm low, I just look, you know, people are waiting for me. I need to get up. I need to be a role model for my kids. I have 3 kids, and every day I ask them at the end of the day, what did you do today that makes a difference? I said, Mom, we don't get volunteer work. We're just going to school. We are with our college student. We study. I said, did you say something nice to somebody? Did you say, oh, this is a nice color on you? Did you say, what can I do for you? Did you say, what did you do yesterday? Just something basic. People cannot imagine that sometimes simple words, simple sentences can make such a difference in people's mood. So I always says, you know, be generous with your wording, be kind, try to take care of each other, and just believe me, even you want it or not, you're gonna leave a legacy. People are gonna talk behind your back. Oh my God, he or she is so caring. And then you say, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But then all those things that add up, and it's just been amazing. And this way, you just have to see the glass half full. Life is precious. Make a memory, make a beautiful memory, and try to help each other as much as possible. That's what I'm trying to do. But not every day is the same. Of course, it's challenging. Right. Work, kids, other stuff we have to get involved with and do it. But I feel like if you see a positive perspective of life, and you see this, you never know what is tomorrow is going to come or not. I think you're going to make a difference in your everyday life and the plans that you can go forward with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was amazing. So we actually have a question from the audience. Etta asks, and I'll kick it off to Monique. How do you go about getting various diverse clients? We talked about, you know, being able to service these diverse clients, but how do you go about, because a lot of times our sphere looks like us, you know, and that's kind of natural, but how do you kind of get out of that comfort zone and attract clientele of various backgrounds? And I think you're on mute, Monique. You went off for a second and came and it went back on mute.
Am I
There we go.
still on mute?
Nope, we can hear you. Oh, now it looks muted again. Sorry. The one thing that hasn't changed is that Zoom is still a not friend to
Okay.
navigate. I have to choose my words carefully.
Can you hear me now, Octave?
There we go. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, great. So I think when it comes to a diverse clientele, I think that what you should aim for, right, is working with people who are seeking a particular service, right? So I don't necessarily approach people based on, something exterior, right? Because you can work with people who are like you in other ways. So I think you have to broaden your, your expectation of what you think a buyer and a seller is looking for, right? Because a lot of times those things that you hold are internal, right? You think they won't work with you, right? But you won't know until you actually take some steps to go out there. So I think the first thing you have to do is make a plan around what it is and the type of clientele that you want to work with. And, and you have to approach it from the perspective that you're not meant to work with everyone, right? Because I think sometimes in this vast number of buyers, we think we can take on, 30 buyers and 40 listings. You cannot do that mathematically. You can't, not you as a one person, right?
Right.
So this is why it's important to form a team, know what your limitations are, just within yourself, and then you have to grow slowly. But again, I approach people the way I want to be approached, right? So I don't approach people, with a restriction within myself. So I think that if you're, asking questions about, diversity, I guess the first thing you have to decide is, well, what kind of client do you want to work with? Because most of the clients that I want to work with, as you stated before, you're looking for people who can afford to buy. And then you jump out there and then you present your services. And only through kind of like trial and error will you learn how to kind of tighten up certain things. One of the things that I know that I do is I wanted to work with probate, right? That is a particular type of clientele. And I deal with a lot of people whose family members have passed away. You have to be real comfortable addressing death. You have to be real comfortable addressing, who has the right and the authority to when you're dealing with that, that paperwork. And you have to be comfortable talking to attorneys. That's how you get into that particular market. So that's what I would say. You first have to have a plan. What kind of client are you looking for? And like I said, that's kind of where I started out, is working with probate. I came from government, so I went down to the courthouse, with documents I understood and started kind of working, the leads from that aspect. And then I started, thinking about where would people be? Well, I knew I wasn't going to go to a hospital, right? That's not cool, right? Got to use some common sense. And you definitely don't show up to funerals. You go to funeral homes, but you do not go to funerals. You have to use some common sense, and you pivot your services there. So I think that's the first thing, is starting out with a plan of action to who you want to work with and what you're most familiar with.
Awesome. That is excellent advice. And I'll share a little tidbit if I may. Working in HR and again, having a passion for diversity, you discover that we're more alike than we are different. Once you remove the barrier of ethnicity, race, gender, disabilities, all of those things. So in a neighborhood where I thought was saturated, in my own neighborhood of realtors, successful realtors, I thought, how do I get people to connect with me? And I sent a mailer out that gave 10 random facts about me. It wasn't really about, hey, here's the market, let me sell your home. It was, hey, I want to be your friend and your realtor. I'm a cheerleader. My favorite place is Costa Rica, blah, blah, blah. And my neighbors were messaging me like, oh my God, I went to that same place in Costa Rica. I love that place. And oh, I was a cheerleader too. And all of these other things. And it just kind of naturally grew. And so, you know, if we stop focusing on the exterior and finding ways to connect with each other, because that's what we do with our clients, right? If my clients pull up in a car that's like mine, we can talk an hour about that, and that builds that connection and bond. So that's my little tidbit, sorry. But anyone else have any insight on attracting diverse clientele? LaToya?
So I heard the other day an interesting quote. It said, diversity is being invited to the party, but inclusion is asking someone to dance at the party. So I love that, because when you think about not focusing on getting diverse clientele, but treating people as people, you're going to have diverse clientele. People are going to see your authenticity. You know, you got to bring value. The whole thing is can you sell my house? You know, you even sell houses. You may be a real estate agent, but have you sold a house? Do you know how to sell a house? Do you know what my needs are? I mean, when you take yourself out the equation, you start to be a resource for people, where you're providing information constantly. You're making yourself more approachable to where people are just not, they can ask you a question at any time. They can pretty much feel comfortable with you. I think Tammie said earlier about getting people to trust you. You got to be a trustworthy person. And if you're a trustworthy person and you make people comfortable around you and be approachable, diversity is going to come from all forms. Most of my business comes from referrals. You know, I got out there when I first left the commission, I was out there like, I'm just going to burn this, thing up. I'm going to go. You're right, Monique. I'm not trying to do 40 clients in a month. My schedule does not allow me to. I run 3 businesses, and those businesses marry each other so that I get clients from those businesses, and when you're helpful, that's the best thing you can do. There are people who I don't even represent. They call me and they ask me a question. They're not with a realtor. They just want to know, what do I need to do to get started? Am I thinking they're going to be my client? Not really, because they may not qualify, but my thing is, let me just give them the information they need. We as realtors oftentimes need to understand that we are advocates in our community. We have information that people just don't have access to. That's why we went and took that state exam. We'll never use the information we learn in pre-licensing again. But because we get, we're dealing with an industry where we have to hustle and bustle. You have to do a lot to get clients. Best thing to do is to be yourself to get those clients. Because I remember working, I run a media support services group for beauty, film, TV, and things like that. I've been doing that since 2001. Oh, wow. And I remember an agent, I created the image for the models, but when they got to the door and they would get interviews, their pictures got them in the door, but they couldn't keep the job because I was giving them an image that did not represent what was coming through the door. So I can have beautiful pictures on Instagram. I can market myself all day long. But when people call you and you don't return their calls, when people call you and you answer the phone like you don't want to work today, people pick up off of that. So it's just having a zest for understanding that everybody's not going to be my client, but I can be a resource for people. If they're not my client, I can refer them out to somebody else. And when people see that you're not all about yourself and all about what you can get out the deal, they coming back to you. They're going to ask you another question. They're going to go and tell their friends, so-and-so told me and helped me. And I didn't even get a house from her. That gave me 2 more clients and they were good listings. Okay. So, right. So really when you do the good deed and you set yourself to be purpose driven and not just goal oriented or numbers driven, you're going to get the people that you're looking for. And you're going to get a whole bunch of people calling you to where you probably have to refer people out,
That is amazing. And I know that's where we all aspire to get to our business, where it's too much. It's like, hey, let me find someone that's great for you, because I'm too busy. And that's there's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful situation to have. I believe we had another question from the chat. I just want to make sure I get your name right. Kitsy wanted to know, what are your daily to-dos that help you get up and conquer the day? I'll kick that off to Tammie, because I feel like you have some very specific things that you go through on a daily basis to make sure you're always winning the day.
Yeah, I tell you what, sort of like LaToya, I do a couple of things. And so routine is really important. You know, if you want to be successful, you got to get up with a winning attitude. And so the first thing I do when I get up, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm visualizing what my day is going to look like. Now, all the realtors know in a given day, we don't know what the day is going to look like. You may get that one phone call, that closing might be falling through, a lot of different things. You know, you have children. I have a dog. The dog got to go to the vet. I mean, my husband and I, we're in ministry, you know, someone called and need counseling or whatever. But I always start the day off with a great attitude. And like my friend Fara, I see the glass half full. I see, you know, matter of fact, you know, I put on my yellow jacket because I'm seeing the glass full today. So just making decisions and affirmations about what I want my routine to look like. You know, another routine is I'm going to call people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to win and you want to be successful, you cannot be afraid. One of the things that I know happens a lot in real estate in any career, I was a social worker therapist for 18 years and oversaw a lot of programs through 14 counties in North Carolina. People don't really believe that they are who they are. You know, meaning we're always comparing ourselves to others. Okay, so I know Leslie do these 5 things and it made her successful. Well, Leslie's temperament may be different from your temperament. So you got to find that routine that works best for you. I'm up sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning working. So when my husband pops up at 5 a.m. and say, oh, it's 5 a.m. You're still in the bed? Yes, dude, I was up to 2 because, you know, we got all these multiple offers coming in and I'm working on some repair requests, agreements. You know, you got people around you helping you with these things, but I'm one of those people, like I like to keep my hand in the pot. So just make sure that your routine works for you. Listen to YouTube, Les Brown, Terry Savelle Foe, Eric Thomas, whoever, TD Jakes, whoever you want to listen to, who's motivating you, who's pushing you, who's coaching you, who's encouraging you, and just know that things could be the other way. Because my grandmother say, I'm from Eastern North Carolina, so I have a lot of quotes from down there. It could have been the other way. So keep gratitude, because my God, somebody wish they had your life. Stop comparing your life to the next realtor's life. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff is a highlight reel. It is a highlight reel, okay? That stuff happens in highlights, but the behind the scenes is gonna be your routine when somebody's sick, when somebody died, when things didn't go right, when the deal was the day before closing and it fell through and you had already counted that money. Realize it could have been the other way, so keep gratitude.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Kitsy actually had another question. I think it's a fantastic question. And I know we're running probably close to time, but I think it's important. What advice would you give a new real estate agent, and couple that with kind of what would you tell your former self just starting off in this business, knowing what you know now? And let's start with Fara.
Yeah, I can go. I think the first thing is good to research and join a good company. And that's very important. And we have lots of wonderful ones, but you need to make sure the culture, the environment works for you. That's very important, because not everything is nice and shiny. You need to really dig in and ask questions. And based on your personality, see if you're going to fit in there or not. And as soon as you choose it, just try to get in the group, get involved and join a group in that company, as if you can. So because knowledge is power, you're new. So when you get masterminds in one table discussing different things, you can really absorb things and grow much faster. And another thing I always want to bring it up, and I always tell my colleagues, especially the new one, watch out what you put in social media. Be professional. I know we are cool. We have our nights. We have our party. It's wonderful. You don't need to put it up there in the social media. People are going to look at Google you or look at you in the Facebook or Instagram. They want to see if you work with somebody professional. Just pay attention what you put in, what kind of comments you're writing, and what you are posting, how you're reacting to people. Try to be professional, and then you can jump ahead, and people can trust you and count on you much sooner than you expected.
Awesome. And I'd like Leslie to close us out with the same question. What would Leslie tell her younger self getting into real estate?
Wow. What I would tell my younger self is, you keep dreaming, girl, it's all going to be okay. That's what I would tell my younger self. And what I would tell a new agent getting into the business is really take a good look at yourself and see what your strengths and weaknesses are. Build on those things. Be authentic in your movement. Educate yourself. Align yourself with other individuals who have done great things in the industry. Find great mentors, to which I have great mentors. Many people message me every day. I have a tribe out there. I have people who love me, people who I love, who are in this industry, who have supported my career as to where I am today. I have many people that I can call on the phone and say, hey, I've got this situation. What do you think I should do with that, and vice versa? And so get yourself.
Hey, Leslie.
Leslie kind of froze.
Hey, Leslie, you froze and now you're on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, oh my Lord, what happened? So but basically what I would say is get a tribe, look for some mentors out there, continue to be on the cutting edge of this industry in terms of information. Prepare yourself so that when you do have your clients, that you're doing that in an ethical, professional way, that you're representing the people that trust you with their biggest purchase, and stay consistent. And that's all you need to do. The rest is going to work itself out. Be consistent. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Leslie, and thank you, all 5 of you. I know it sounds cliche for the moderator to say this, but I really do feel like personally I learned so much from listening to your journeys, your experiences, and quite honestly, just being inspired by you 5 dynamic women. You're all different, but we're all the same. There's a book I've been reading, my son, we're different, but we're the same. And I'm truly inspired by what you're doing, what you've done, and what you'll continue to do. So on the behalf of RRAR, the DE&I Council, and the Women's Council, thank you so much for sharing your time and your heart with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Octavius. And I'm going to ask everybody to just stay where you are for just a second. There's a little bit of a surprise. And so, Leslie, I know that you are on a time crunch, but you got to stick around for just a second. And I am going to piggyback on what you said. Find your tribe, and a great place to do that is Women's Council. So join us, WCR.org. We have some great events coming up. We've obviously done a great job with this one. Thank you guys so much. I can't even tell you how much I got out of this discussion. Corinne, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you kick off the surprise.
Yes, well, one, I want to say thank you to all of our panelists. My God, what an amazing event. Thank you, Octavius, for leading this panel and this discussion, and thank you to our audience. We have a really, really special treat. We talk about women leadership, but this is an opportunity that we can recognize our very own. And so it has been a delight to actually listen to her this morning, and that is our president-elect for 2022, Ms. Leslie Williams herself. And so on behalf of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee, and the Women's Council, we want to say congratulations to you. Congratulations to continue to lead the way, for setting a path that we haven't seen before. You are truly a trailblazer in your own right. And with that, we have a special presentation just for you.
Congratulations to all the women in leadership being celebrated today by the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, but a special high five to my friend Leslie Williams, who was the last person I saw for a drink in 2020 before I went into my super secret quarantine bunker. As this group knows so well, women are underrepresented in leading roles at large real estate firms, in realtor associations, in franchises, and Black women have an even smaller presence. The Census Bureau, I looked this up, says that 76% of real estate agents and brokers are non-Hispanic whites, and white women make up most of that group. And the typical realtor is a 54-year-old white female. And Leslie is not 54 and she's not white, but she is breaking through, and she's leading her own real estate company and is now the president-elect of the nation's 30th largest realtor association. She's a mother, she's a professional, she's a relentless pioneer, and she's going to be bringing her perspective, her unique perspective, to the Raleigh Association soon. I'm very proud of her. She's my friend, Leslie Williams. Congratulations.
It's just a from the heart congratulatory message from me. You have always been somebody that I have admired, and someone who I felt would step up to the leadership capabilities that you have proven that you can step up to. I've watched you grow. I've watched you grow in your leadership skills. I've watched you take charge in a lot of situations, which a good leader does that in a lot of circumstances. They do take charge, but they also lead by example, and you certainly have done that. So I want to tell you congratulations. I want you to know how proud I am of you, and how proud I am of you as a woman who is of color, as a woman who can overcome any adversities that are sent her way and can move forward despite those adversities that she might encounter. Because a lot of times we as women have to overcome those adversities and move forward. So as someone who has led our association, I know that our association is going to be in good hands with you as our leader, and one who will lead by example. So I appreciate all that you have done in the past and all that I know that you're going to do in the future. And if I can ever be of any help to you whatsoever, please just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So I'm very proud of you. Keep going, girl. Thank you.
Congratulations, Leslie. Over the years, I've seen you work hard, dream big, and share your time and talents with others. Not to mention the tons of selfies that you have taken to highlight your leadership journey thus far. Your commitment to serving in various leadership roles at the Raleigh Regional Association Realtors has not gone unnoticed. The dedication to the Realtor Foundation of Wake County, working with the North Carolina Realtor Association, and being the member and a director and the chair of the Diversity Committee. Raleigh Regional Association has watched you be a member there, serve as director, serve on the committee for diversity, treasurer, and president-elect. Now you're about to embark on president. You know, that is a task that is wonderful to watch you step into. And, you know, there's some other things that you've done remarkable by being an RPAC major investor, and thank you for that. Just want to give you a little bit of word of advice for your coming year. Make sure you store all your pictures because you're going to need a lot more room on your phone to take those selfies, because your year is going to be filled with excitement and a lot of things that you want to accomplish. And we want to make sure we journal that journey. And so for you, Madam President 2022, here's cheers to you. So excited for your year. And if you ever need help, you know where all of our presidents are. Many blessings to you.
Congratulations, Leslie. I am so proud of you. I feel so fortunate and honored to be able to have said that I was there to watch your journey and witness it all. You know, congratulations on being president of the Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors for 2022. And also, you know, the first Black woman president of the Raleigh Regional Association as well. But, you know, the good thing about it is that, you know, it's so much more that you've done through all these years that really, you know, has prepared you to do this. And, you know, I feel fortunate that our association is going to reap the benefits of your leadership journey and what you have to bring to help us be successful in the future. And so I am just proud of you. You know, I'm here for you. If you ever need anything from me, just let me know. And much success to you in the future. And just congratulations again.
Leslie, I just want to say how very proud I am of you for all that you have done. Congratulations on your president-elect and your soon-to-be first president, Black female, Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors. Such an honor. From working with you back in the day on Small Brokers Council to all the councils and committees, both local and on state, it's always been an honor to serve with you. I'm always impressed by how much you bring to the table, contribute. You just never fail to amaze. Congratulations. And again, I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Good afternoon, Leslie Williams. It is my high honor and great pleasure to speak so fondly of you, and I'm so very proud of what you have accomplished over the years. I hope you realize and remember that I have been in your corner for a long, long time, cheerleading and speaking highly of you to encourage you to continue your involvement in the Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors and to move into leadership. I am so happy that you will be our president next year. You have worked so very hard to do that. It's a history-making position. And I'm also proud of the fact that this year you have been placed in a position with NAR for an advisory position. And that speaks very highly, I think, of how you're regarded within our association, amongst our members, amongst our leadership, and certainly amongst our staff at Raleigh Regional Association. So congratulations on the high honor of moving into the 2020 role of president of the Raleigh Regional Association. I am so extremely proud of all of your efforts and all of your achievements. And I am most especially proud and thankful to be able to call you my friend. So thank you again, and I wish you the best of luck.
Congratulations, Madam President.
You guys got me. You guys got me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This was a wonderful tribute. I'm really honored to be able to have had these opportunities, and also for the individuals who have spoken here today. These are the individuals that I've had conversations with, that I've asked for advice, that have always been there to support and encourage me. And so that's what I was speaking about earlier. And it's just really been a great ride. And in every position, every time I've moved from one step to the next, I've always looked down and looked to and out towards the people and asked them for their support. And I will be doing that again, because we can't get any place alone, right? So we need to be able to work together and do great things, which I plan to do. And I'm so excited. Could you guys have really, this is just way too much. This is really, I really appreciate it. Blessings to everyone. Thank you.
Well, we just want to say we love you, we support you, and we have your back. And anything that you need from us, Amber, Michelle, And I'm sure the ladies here, you just let us know. We are there for you. We are walking this journey with you and along the way. And we're gonna close out on that note. Just again, congratulations to our President-elect Leslie Williams. We're looking for an amazing year 2022. Thank you again to all of our panelists. Thank you for our moderator, Amber. It is always a pleasure to work alongside of you. I want to thank two people who are not on the screen, but they are also behind the scenes. That is my co-chair, Derek Thornton, as well as we have Michelle Zhang, who's there as well, who is our DEI. Thank you.
I got you, boo.
Yes, and you know, with that, it was a team effort that we were allowed to do this. And so as we leave here today, we want to empower you guys to be the leader within you. You define what leadership looks like. Leadership looks different, as you can see from this beautiful collective that we have today. And so what does leadership mean to you? How do you take harness of that? How do you own that and take dominion of your next journey, of the next steps that you're going to